Oh man, what time is it? So it's 6:58 in California. It's just before 10 o'clock here in Pennsylvania. We're gonna head another 120 miles or so through Pennsylvania, through Ohio, and get to Toledo. It is June 11th, 133 miles. It's June 11th. It's good. Well, it's chilly out. It's 49, 52, somewhere around there. I haven't checked in a bit, but it's good. So we're at 57,270 miles on Trinity, which means we're 56,246 miles on a trip right now. Kind of crazy. 12 states left to hit. Everything east of the Mississippi is done except for New Jersey. I'll be out there on, I think it's the 21st, for a young man's first annual Ride to Fight Suicide. They're putting it on. So check out the events page on Facebook. See if you can meet out there. It'd be awesome to see as many of you as possible, especially since this is their first annual event to bring suicide awareness to their community and for their loss of their friend, their son, their child, their brother. You know, a strong showing, and then, you know, obviously that helps it grow the next year too. So see if you can get out there for that. I was talking with somebody over one of the social media forums, and through a private message, and they're struggling. You know, I get it. Changed jobs, and now the job isn't, you know, what they want. You know, life sucks. And, you know, I tried reminding them, hey, it's temporary, you know. Reach out every couple of days and, hey, how you doing, you know. And caught some backlash, you know. And not everybody responds to people caring the same way. A lot of people aren't used to people caring, you know. So said, hey, you know, we talked a bit. Said, hey, don't reach out to me anymore. And every time it reminds me of my failed attempt to die, and, you know, these two crappy famous people both succeeded, you know. They're harsh words. But what the person didn't like was I told them the truth, you know, repeatedly. Like, hey, I get it, it's tough right now, but it's gonna get better. Now, obviously, that's not the bad part, but the truth is, well, you're gonna have to make a change, you know, and people don't want to hear that. I don't sugarcoat anything, you know. I keep my videos and my posts clean, but I'm a retired Marine, and for those of you that didn't know, I don't say it that often, but it's out there. I curse like a sailor, and, you know, but I know when to turn it on and off, you know. And when it comes down to giving advice, I will tell somebody what the truth is. That's it. I don't sugarcoat it. This is the truth. This is the way it is. And you know, I was talking with my buddy Aaron yesterday over a donut, and you know, the truth has actually gotten me in trouble quite often, especially in the Marine Corps, because you tell the truth and it goes against the grain and people don't like it. They don't want to hear it. You know, we do a lot of stuff in the military that's just redundant and a waste of money, but somebody wants to get recognition and look good, so we're doing it for them. You know, we're doing it for the commanding officer, or for, you know, a certain department or whatever, so they can get promoted, they can get, you know, moved up through the ranks. And it's sad, it's unfortunate, but that happens. It happens all the time. We waste money left and right to pad somebody's resume, you know, and I'm not for that. You know, here we are fighting to get toilet paper, literally, like rationing toilet paper. People bringing toilet paper in from their house so that we have toilet paper at work. But we're doing all this other stuff that isn't needed, you know, and it's just wrong. Not wrong, but it serves no purpose. So I would call people out on that. I would tell the truth, like, hey, this is bull. We don't need to do that, you know. And so the next thing you know is, you know, I get in trouble for it one way or the other, you know. And so sometimes it doesn't matter what you do in life. You're gonna, you know, you're gonna catch backlash from one group or another. And so as long as you're truthful to yourself, as long as you're honest with yourself, as long as you're truthful in all that you do and all that you talk to and everyone you come across, you know, you can't go wrong. Are there times where you need to be, all right, I don't need to just bluntly say the truth? I haven't figured out what those times are. I'm sure they're out there, you know. I've hurt people, never intentionally, you know, but in the end, if I'm telling the truth and you're too hurt or scared or whatever to want to see or hear the truth, it's going to open your eyes. It's going to sting. The truth stings. The truth hurts, you know, but I'm that first person to go, hey, this is screwed up. And I'll even do it in my own life. You know, I don't just look at other people and just start pointing out stuff. You know, I sit down regularly and go, what can I do better? You know, a gentleman pointed out something about some of the posts 3, 4 months, 5 months ago, towards the start, so 4.5 months, and I realized, ooh, dang, man. Well, I'll just tell you what it is. You know, when I started this, I was posting how many miles I did that day, where we were at, total mileage for the trip of, you know, from that day to day. And I forget who it was, but a gentleman's like, hey, this looks like it's becoming more about the miles than it is about the awareness. I was like, I was mad, you know, like, dang, man. And then I start for a second and go, ooh, you know, this dude's got a valid point. So now, you know, on the story here and there, like today I put a story up on the Instagram page showing, you know, hey, we're at 57,000 miles and the front forks look practically brand new. You know, that's a useful post that shows the amazing product that Cruise Armor has, and you know, it shows that their product's working. They've been massively supportive of me, so you know, they take care of Trinity by keeping her clean, keeping her wrapped up. So I'm going to show the mileage to show the effect of how good their product is. The end of the month, I put a post up. You know, we do this many miles this month. Occasionally on a video like this one, I'll mention how many miles we do. But I backed off because it's not about the miles. It's about the awareness. You know, and if we raise some money, for those of you that have donated, thank you. For those of you that want to donate, go on over to the Facebook page. Facebook.com/RideOutOfTheDarkness. There's a pinned post right at the top. Or if you don't have Facebook, RideOutOfTheDarkness.com. There's a donate button right on the top. Donate directly to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Over 83% of that money goes straight to fighting suicide, getting materials out into schools, getting awareness out there, getting resources paid for, you know. So yeah, that's cool. But it's not about the miles, it's about the awareness. And I shifted, day one, I shifted from, you know what, I'm not going to raise a ton of money, I'm not going to focus on that, I'm going to focus on the awareness. So that's what we do. Hand out my flyers, give some stickers out, talk to people, give some hugs out here and there, because hugs are healing, man. Hugs and laughter, best healing, best form of communication out there that is also healing. So, you know, that's what we're doing, you know. I was just at I cheated last night. I stayed at a hotel, needed to do laundry. My ankle and my knees are bugging me because all this temperature humidity change. The hips bother me a little bit from sitting too long. So got a hotel, had the intent of getting a bunch of work done, got a little bit of work done, and got, you know, some stuff taken care of. You know, but I'm like weeks behind on videos, so we'll do that. Exit 97. Maybe we need to go to Dubois Harley Davidson, huh? So, you know, but that's, it's awareness is what we're doing, you know. And the truth is sometimes we're depressed because of the situation we put ourselves in. Situational depression. I don't know if that's a technical term or not, but we're going to use it. I'm going to use it. It makes sense to me because I can look back and go, man, you know, I got no money, I'm broke, I'm depressed. You know, years ago, especially living in Camp Pendleton, California, I didn't realize that just because I got no money and I'm broke doesn't mean I can't go for a hike or a walk right around where we lived across the air station. And for those of you familiar with it, 22 and 24 area, there was tons of fire trails that you could hike, walk, run, whatever. That doesn't cost any money. Just drink some water and go do it. And well, they got rain gear on. Maybe I need to put mine on, huh? You know, so just go get outside, get off the couch. You know, in my case back then, situational depression. I had no money because I had no budget. I had no spending ability. I had no saving ability. You know, I had a spending ability. If I had money, I spent it. And then I complained about being broke. You know, so I'm not saying that's this person's issue. You know, this person changed jobs and now is working 2 shifts a day at the place they worked at, and you know, underappreciated, underpaid, which is like so many of us in this world. You know, I understand underappreciated, underpaid. All right, and so do all of my fellow service members and vets. Like, they get it. You know, and I don't mean outside of, you know, the military. Support-wise, outside of the military has a ton of it. You know, there's still people here and there that don't support the military, and that's the freedom that they have. Kind of a silly choice in my personal opinion, but I'm slightly biased on that one. But actually in the military, you know, I have so many friends who have done so much in the Marine Corps and the Army and the Navy and the Air Force, and they never get recognized for it. And there were times where that was me too, you know, and it causes people to, we call it dropping our pack in the military. You're not carrying your weight anymore. It causes that to happen often, you know, and then the command's like, oh, why is morale down? Well, because you've been slaving us and we're not, you know, we're not there. And again, when you tell them that truth, like, hey, we're slaving the Marines, and, you know, we need to reward them. Oh, they'll be fine. Well, I mean, they probably will. 99.9% chance, you know, but then they don't realize the correlation between, and when you tell them this, they get mad, the correlation between, we went 12 hours on, 12 hours off, you know, 12-hour shifts, 24 hours a day, 6.5, 7 days a week, to get whatever done that didn't really need to actually be done, most of the time, a lot of the time, not most of the time. And you tell them, well, we had more liberty incidents, you know, DUIs, domestic abuse, alcohol-related incidents. You tell them, well, there's a correlation. Every time we go 12 on, 12 off, our morale plummets and people start drinking more and they get in trouble because there's no time really to leave base. It's a 12-hour shift turns into a 14-hour day or longer sometimes for the actual people doing the shifts. The people making those policies aren't working 12 on, 12 off. They don't care. They're just, all right, whatever. You know, but again, when you tell people that, well, hey, Mr. Commanding Officer or Sergeant Major, why don't you do 12 on, 12 off too? Well, I earned my time. Well, you know what? These Marines have earned their time too. And then I'm the bad guy because I point out the obvious and the facts, you know. So it's the same kind of thing. The truth hurts, but it's the truth. And if you stick to the truth all the time, you know, you don't have to remember what you made up. You don't have to remember whatever. You know, and then my thing is, if I walk in and somebody starts complaining about being broke for whatever reason, I'll tell them, yeah, you're broke because you eat out all the time, or you do this, or you do that, or you don't have a budget. And then not only do you not have a budget, you don't stick to the budget you do have. You know, in the end, I look at them, and for this specific case of financial savvy, financial abilities, I look at them and be like, You know, you suck at managing money. You have no financial management skills. But I can help you with that, because I too had horrible financial management skills at one point. And quite a few people tried, and then finally one day I started listening to what, little pieces of what everybody said, and, realized, hey, I can do this, and it's easy, but it requires some discipline. And like so many other things, in the world and in what we do, a little bit of discipline goes a long way. And it's one of those things that, you tell somebody the truth and you walk away, you're a jerk. You tell somebody the truth and then you offer them help to fix it, and it's like, well, you're a jerk, but you're a helping jerk. And then a few months later, weeks later, days later, years later, whatever, situation depends, they're thankful that you helped them. You still might be a jerk, that's just the way it is sometimes. I looked so many times in my first, I don't know, probably 7 years and 8 years in the Marine Corps. People told me the truth, and I had a chip on my shoulder, man. It was bad. You couldn't tell me nothing. And but people told me the truth all the time, like, hey, this is going to happen or that or whatever. You need to change your attitude. And I definitely didn't like it, and it hurt. I didn't tell anybody it hurt, because I'm big, hard, 20, 19, 20, 26, 27, whatever. You can't tell me nothing. I'm a Marine. I'm indestructible. Hi, Crow. And, one day it started clicking. Like, all the bricks started falling into place. And, turkey? You gotta be careful out here in Pennsylvania, man. There's a ton of stuff that'll come out on the road. There's dead deer everywhere, dead turkeys. It's not one of the safest states to ride a motorcycle in. Anyway, back on the topic, but all these people tried telling me things, over the years, and kept hearing the same things over and over and not listening. If somebody tells you the truth, and then somebody else tells you the same truth, and then somebody else tells you the same truth, it's time to listen, man. Like, you gotta open up, but don't be like I was for a long time. People could tell me the truth and I wouldn't listen, and I'd walk up and tell somebody else, or even that same person, a truth about them or what they were doing, and then just walk away, and they're looking at me like, damn, that was harsh. And it was, I didn't sugarcoat it. See, there's a dead deer right there. So it's just one of those things, you gotta, maybe you are the type that likes to sugarcoat it, so sugarcoat it. Sit down with somebody kneecap to kneecap, like we used to say in recruiting duty, and, talk to them, and I've done that countless times with young Marines and friends and whatever. I learned years ago that if you just come in, and hit a grand slam of pain, just gut shot, just 1-2 gut shot right there, and but then you stay there and let them finish their reaction, and then you grab them by the hand, pick them back up, and you say, hey man, I know what I just told you hurt, or you didn't like it, or it's sour, or whatever, but let's fix it. Look them square in the eye and be like, we can fix this, I'll help you. I'm not going to do it for you, but I'm going to give you the tools that you need to fix it. Alright, I'm going to give you the help that you need. I'm going to help a little bit less and less and less, and then one day you're going to realize you're doing it on your own. Just like when you learn how to ride a bicycle, somebody was back there holding you after, you had training wheels, you had a trike, then you had training wheels, then one training wheel came off, they lifted them up, then one came off, then the other came off, then somebody's holding you, and you still fell. I know grown adults that still fall on bicycles. I know people who've never had a chance to ride a bicycle. It's like, well, do you want to learn? But, you know, in the end, like, if that person just constantly did it for you, we'd all be stuck on training wheels, you know, or even a trike still. And then some of us get older and regress, and we end up buying a trike for a motorcycle. But I think I got 5 or 10 more years at least for that. So, but you know, you can't do it for them. You know, and you can tell people the truth all the time, especially with alcoholism. Somebody come to me, had somebody come to me and told me I had a drinking problem. I probably would have told them my only drinking problem was I don't have a drink in my hand right now. You know, and in the end, I never would have believed them at all, and that would have been that, you know. But if somebody had come to me and spent some time with me and maybe told me, hey, why don't you just have one less tonight, you know, spend the next day with me, hey, why don't you have one less tonight? You're kind of drinking a lot. I like you better when you're sober, you know. And that's, in an aspect, that's powder coating it, but at the same time it's, you know, sugar coating it, but at the same time it's kind of not, you know. You do have to be situation aware, but I don't think I still would have listened then. I think it was one of those things that I had to find out for myself, you know, just like my 2 marriages. There were people that told me she's not the right one. Oh man, I'm in love. No, you're not in love, you're in lust. You know, and that's what it was. So, you know, the truth is out there, and it's one of those things that if people are telling you something you don't want to hear repeatedly, there might be a reason. If you're telling people, oh yeah, I think you look great in that, and walking away and going, man, he or she looked horrible, you're not helping them, you know. You don't have to be, you see it all the time in the motorcycle industry. These big wheel baggers. I posted a beautiful one a couple days ago, and that's an Autism Speaks bike built by AudioWorks, I think it was. Beautiful bike, beautiful craftsmanship. I think that one had a Trask turbocharger on it too, if I remember right. Can't remember now, but beautiful bike. I'd probably take it for a test ride, and you know, the craftsmanship that went into it and the skill that went into it is just phenomenal, just amazing. The attention to detail on that bike, it was kind of crazy because the seat was black with puzzle pieces stitched into the side panels of it, and then there were these big rings down the middle of it, and underneath the rings was really the only amount of color, except for other in the gauges. It was the standard autism, you know, blue, red, yellow, green puzzle pieces underneath. You could see that underneath. The gauges had the same print, but other than that, everything was purple, black, or chrome on this bike. And it was just a touch of detail that was phenomenal. It had like a 30-inch front wheel on it, and that's not my style. You know, I gotta clean that. I'm not cleaning that bike. That's a bike I would clean and I would ride once a month just to keep it warmed up and the seals and everything from drying out. And then I would put it back away under a glass container so I wouldn't have to clean it. But I can appreciate the craftsmanship, you know. And people, oh, it's purple. Yeah, I like purple. I don't care. I'm a dude who likes purple. I'm comfortable with that. Has to be a dark purple though, all right? And preferably some metallic in it. But you know, the truth of the fact is that it doesn't matter if you like that bike or not. The person who built it and the cause it was built for, they like that bike. And so the truth is sometimes you just need to keep your opinion to yourself. Or if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Now, that's an irrelevant subject. That has nothing to do with somebody's safety or whatever. But with somebody's mental health, when somebody's saying this or that or whatever, and they haven't opened their eyes up, because a lot of, and I do it too, when it comes down to you know, situational or self-induced stress or PTSD or anxiety or whatever. When somebody tells me, hey man, you're causing yourself more anguish, I kind of look at them and I stop and I think about it. Now, years ago I'd have just gotten mad, so if you got people coming to you and telling you, hey, I want to help you, but maybe you need to quit drinking as much, or maybe you need to quit drinking at all, or maybe you need to get outside more, well, I have anxiety, hey, I don't like being around people, whatever. I understand that. I didn't say go out with, there's another deer. I didn't say go out to the club. I said get outside, because nature is healing. Get off the couch. Stop sitting there contemplating and thinking about everything that could go wrong, and start looking about what is going right. Everything could go wrong every day, but tomorrow's a new day, and at the same point, everything could go right tomorrow. Everything can go right from right now on till the end of this day when I go to bed. Okay? So just look for the truth. All right? Remember that it's going to hurt when people tell you the truth, but they're coming to you and telling you the truth because they care. All right? So if somebody tells you, hey, be positive, that's the truth. You need to be positive, because everything could go right. And I know your anxiety or your fear or even your PTSD in some cases is telling you otherwise, but it's lying to you. 100% lie. Okay? Everything has the ability to go right today, and it starts with a positive attitude. It starts with accepting the truth even when it's hard. Another dead deer. And in the end, the truth, I think the religious area says that the truth shall set you free. But the truth will set you free. I can promise you that. When you start to accept, like for me, when I was diagnosed, so I don't go into it that often. What I was diagnosed with, but here it is: PTSD, anxiety, depression, and adjustment disorder. Man, that was a gut shot of truth for sure, and kind of a baseball bat to the knees and a punch in the nose too, all at the same time. It's like, I can't be that messed up. I'm not messed up. Well, that's the thing is once I accepted, okay, this is what I've been diagnosed with. Now I can figure out what we have to do to treat it. And honestly, getting away from all that stuff that I was talking about earlier about the redundant waste of money stuff that we do in the Marine Corps, lifted a huge weight. Now, I still struggled with that in other jobs that I've had since. There's some stuff in the system that Biggs Harley-Davidson uses Talon for their system. That's Harley's baby. That's what the dealership wants everybody to use. And it's a pretty decent system, I think, but it's also the only system, POS system that I've used, point of sale system that I've used in retail that's that in depth, because you can do the service side, you can do the retail side, you can do all the business reports. It does everything that the dealership needs to be done. So, I thought it was pretty good. But then I started using it and learning more, and they did a couple of updates, and it's like, well, why doesn't it do this, or why can't you do that? There's redundancies where there should be a click box here, but instead I have to go out and I have to go back into a different screen on the same work order, and I have to click that box, and, but it comes down, it's money, blah, 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 whatever. So, there were still issues and stuff like that where I had to do that, or customers, dealing with some customers. Some of y'all are difficult. And there's times in life, they're few and far between now, but they still happen every once in a while. Get away from these wine and tires here. There's times in life where I've been a difficult customer, and I'm sorry to those of you that had, if you're listening from years ago, actually even, at the Apple store 8 months ago, I was pretty difficult. I'm sorry about that for those of you watching, if you are. catch me when I'm hungry. I'm not the most pleasant person to deal with. That's the truth. I don't like it, but it's a fact. So I try to make sure I'm not always ever hungry. You know, but in the end, the PTSD comes from a couple of different things. The anxiety comes from a couple of different things. The depression comes from a couple of different things. The adjustment disorder, that's just kind of my personality, I guess. I don't know. But once I knew the truth of this, I don't want to say wrong with me, because this is what my diagnosis is, I was able to fight it easier. And the bigger thing that I realized is get outside, get off the couch. We might see the sun today. That'll be nice. You know, and for me, my medication for all of that, because they did try to load me up on a bunch of meds, I said no. Not everybody can do that, okay? So some of you need medication temporarily to get back in. Some mental health concerns, mental health challenges do require constant medication, but try and stay on the lowest dose. Obviously, you need to consult with your doctor and stuff like that. Don't just go out and buy a motorcycle and say, this is my medication. It works for me 90% of the time. Truth of the matter is, there's 10% of the time where, put me in Walmart, for example, and Walmart's busy and there's people moving slow in the lanes, and little kids running around not, you know, minding their manners, and just all kinds of, you know, just throw everything kind of wrong that could go in Walmart. A yelling customer at a cashier, and you know, even a couple of weeks ago, I just walked away. You know what? Not right now. And I walked outside. I left my cart. I had 5 or 6 things. I didn't have any cold stuff in there. I would have gone and put that away, but I had 5 or 6 things in the cart, and I needed to go. Like, I can't do this right now. Like, this isn't happening. So that's what I did. You know, I stepped away. I removed myself from the situation, which kind of sucked because I needed some stuff for the next morning. And I had to go to the, you know, when I went and gassed up right before I got to the campground, I spent more money to buy what I needed instead of getting it at Walmart and spending a little bit less. But I lost my patience. My anxiety and the adjustment disorder took over, and I let them win that little battle. But I still, by the end of the day, I still go to bed having won the war for that day. Okay? And so for me, that's what it is. Sometimes that's the way it goes. You know, those are few and far between when I'm riding often. For example, when I got done riding on my retirement ride almost 2 years ago, I didn't touch a motorcycle. I got home on October 15th or 16th, I think it was, and I didn't touch a motorcycle other than to warm them up once in the middle of it until like January 13th or 15th or something like that of 2017. And I was cranky. I was not pleasant to be around, and I didn't realize it. But I did 17,300 miles in 58 days. And I was not, I thought, I don't want to see a motorcycle for a while. You know, on this trip, I have realized, I have learned, one, my goal is to ride every day of the year. And so on this trip, I have made sure that I ride every day, but even, you know, when I go home and I ride the other bikes, you know, change it up a little bit. And in the end, what it comes down to is I know that I need to ride a motorcycle. It doesn't have to be every day. For 2018, it will be every day, but it doesn't have to be every day. You know, every 3 or 4 days at a minimum, maybe 5 if I want to go on a little bit longer ride and kind of get a fill. But I have to have the freedom of riding a motorcycle. And that's a truth. That's a fact. That's just the way it is. Otherwise, I get cranky. I get irritable. I can't, like, there was times in there where I walked out of Walmart, you know, or wherever a few times and had to go out in the car, sit in the truck for a couple minutes, calm down, go back in, grab my basket, you know, knowing that I absolutely need groceries, like I got to do it. So, you know, that was kind of the gut shot I got. And there were people there telling me, okay, hey, we're here to help, blah, 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 whatever. And, you know, my friends and family and my girlfriend, you know, were all supportive, the ones that I told and everything. And so that's the difference is I told people, hey, this is what's going on. And hey, if you need anything, let me know. And some not only said, hey, if you need anything, let me know, but they started paying more attention and coming to me and going, what's up? Like, I'm here right now. We're going to talk about whatever's going on, you know? So you got to do that. When you gut check somebody with the truth, you know, go back, you know, tell them right then and there, I'm here to help. And then go back and show them I'm here for you right now. What can we do, you know? And if they say nothing, I'm fine, you know? They're not fine. There's something going on. Just give them a hug. Go grab a donut or whatever and chat, okay? Even if it's just talking about the weather or whatever, like, talk. Because after a couple minutes, you know, they're going to drastically change the subject and say, well, this, and this are going on, you know, because once they realize again that you're here, you care, you're being genuine, it'll be good, okay? So that's it's a little bit about a lot, but all about the truth, okay? Remember, remain truthful in everything that you do. Remain pure as possible too, okay? That's all I got. It's chilly still. I don't know. Maybe we won't see the sun. But we're rolling through Pennsylvania still. Got 90 more miles until we're into Ohio, and then we're going to go the 300 or 200 and some miles across Ohio into Toledo. If I get to Toledo soon enough, I may jump up into Detroit because I've never been to Detroit before. If I make it and I get this video up tonight like I want to, which I've been bad about, I'm sorry. I will throw some pictures of Detroit in there too, alright? Remember though, I don't just say it, I mean it. You guys are loved, every single one of you. There is somebody on this earth right now, more than one person, that loves you, okay, and that would miss you. So if you got stuff going on, talk to somebody. The only way you're going to fix these issues is if you talk to somebody. Alright, we've had 3 celebrities this year decide that the end of the world, or their end of their life was a solution. And for every one of those celebrities, there's 122 more people on average per day that decided the same thing. And the pain is no different for their direct circle. The pain is no different for anyone who met them, all right, or didn't meet them, or just knew of them. Obviously, a celebrity impacts more people because they're known by more people, but that doesn't make them any more or less important, okay? Those people left behind kids, they left behind loved ones, they left behind family members, in a couple of cases, parents. And in the end, all they did was take their pain and disperse it, multiply it and disperse it to other people. So don't give up, all right? Keep fighting the good fight. It is worth it. It will get better. All right, you are loved, you have value, and you have purpose. Let's go find it. Get off that couch. Have a good day.